How many red lights have you run in your life?
Green means go, red means stop. I'm your host, Eric Brown, and with me, Mr. Mike Jones. What's up, man?
Hey, how you doing, Brad?
Oh, man, living the dream, living the dream.
Absolutely. So speaking of dream, let's talk about waking up from being asleep and dreaming, because sometimes we can get in trouble if we're asleep
Yes, sir,
at the wheel.
for sure.
Yeah.
Not a place you want to sleep
No.
at the wheel.
No.
So walk me through this. I mean, I always thought getting the green light was the outcome to getting to my destination.
Yeah, and we've all understood and seen and experienced traffic signals. You have your green light, which means go. Yellow means prepare to stop. And for people like me, it means speed up and get through the intersection. And red means stop. Now, I want to apply that metaphor to how we make choices and how we live our lives. Because when you truly understand the significance of this metaphor, what you will become aware of is that quite often we are running a whole lot of red lights in our life.
Yeah, so Mike, though, if one light is green for one person, someone else is sitting at a red light. So depending on the choices that are made in your life, you would have both green and yellow. Yes?
Yeah, no, both would exist in the context of that relationship or that situation, but you would not have both. There could be a situation, as we relate this in the context of living life and making choices, that you may have a green light and somebody else may have a red light. You continuing through the intersection and them running their red light means that you could potentially get hurt, or they could potentially get hurt, or you both could get hurt. Every time somebody is going through an intersection or a choice point, there is the potential of somebody running a red light. If you both have green, then you're both good to go. However, if anybody in the context of this conversation has a red light, there is a potential that somebody could get hurt.
Okay, so I've heard you say before that if you're going through hell, that's not a good time to stop and ask for directions. So if someone does have a circumstance that they're going through, how would you apply this metaphor of the stoplight? What should we do?
I think it's a beautiful question. First of all, I'm going to say this. Before every red light that has occurred in your life, you got a yellow light. That yellow light means proceed with caution, or be aware that there is an imminent danger up the road if you continue moving forward. The reason is there is always going to be a red light that follows the yellow light. So the yellow light is an indication to us that we need to take a step back and look at a situation a little closer. Many of you have been in relationships and you know that you got a yellow light or what you would consider a red flag, but you kept pushing forward thinking that somehow the situation was going to fix itself or you were going to be able to fix the situation. And it didn't work out that way, because following every yellow light, there is going to be a red light. And when the red light occurs, if somebody runs that red light, then somebody is going to get hurt.
Yeah, but we've all had these days where you're late for something and you come up to a bunch of red lights, or you're not late for something and everything's green. So in the context of those relationships, I mean, what would your coaching be to make sure that those relationships stay green moving forward?
The thing that you have to understand, though, is you only have 100% control of yourself and the choices that you're making. There are going to be situations, I don't mean going to be, there have been some situations in your life where somebody ran a red light, something that you had absolutely no control over. And as a result of them running a red light, you got hurt. So let me dig a little deeper to give you a better example, because I have definitely run some red lights in my life and in my relationships. When I was being undisciplined and I ran a red light, somebody got hurt. Anytime I was being selfish or unfocused and I ran a red light, somebody got hurt. Many times I was a person that was also potentially at danger of being hurt also. So, but what I'm saying to you is, when you examine every relationship that you are in, I want you to take the time to identify the ones that have some yellow lights existing in those relationships. I'm going to encourage you to take a pause, to slow down, to proceed with caution in those situations until you can identify how to either turn that light back green or make the tough decision to get out of that situation before the light turns red.
So when we're working on this with people in our professional, in our personal lives, what is the key to success to ensure that I align with them and they align with me and we stay green?
There's only one answer to that question. I don't care how many pod blasts we do from now until the end of time. The answer is going to always to make sure that there is a shared outcome, that there is an agreement to a shared outcome. That is the only way that we can work together to make sure that the light stays green. However, when you are on your agenda and I am on my agenda, there is a great likelihood that there are going to be some yellow and then red lights that are going to occur in our relationship, which means that there is going to be some conflict because we're both focused on two completely different things. So we've got to find a way to come to an agreement to a specific outcome in order for us to be on the same road, looking at the same lights, and responding to the same things that are going on.
So I love that it always comes back to outcome. However, in my personal life, I've found that sometimes there's some emotion that's tied in that moment. So what would be your coaching on getting out of the emotion and on the outcome?
Yeah, emotion is always a secondary thing that you've got to deal with. There was so many yellow lights that occurred, Mr. Brown, before the emotion showed up. So it is in those moments that those yellow lights are showing up for you that now frustration is setting in. And what always follows frustration is anger. And now the emotion is going to boil over, and there's going to be somebody with hurt feelings, or something else is going to occur in that relationship that is unhealthy. So what I'm encouraging you to do is identify those yellow lights, because I promise you, what follows a yellow light is going to be a red light. And if you run that red light, there is a great opportunity that there's going to be a crash that occurs in that intersection.
Well, you heard it here first, y'all. Keeping it green, focused on the outcome. That's what it's about.
Absolutely. And if you're not out on that edge, living your life on the edge, living your life truly focused on green lights, then you're taking up far too much risk.
Here we go now.